Welcome to Vedic Counsellor, where ancient Vedic wisdom meets modern scientific insight.
You ever feel scattered, just totally ungrounded, like you're being pulled in a million directions by some invisible force? Well, today, we're going to dive into an ancient concept that just might explain that feeling. We're talking about Vata Dosha, the inner wind, and we're going to learn how to calm it. You know that feeling, right? Your mind is racing, you can't seem to focus, maybe your skin feels dry, or your joints are making little cracking sounds. That whole sensation of being uprooted, like a leaf just getting tossed around. In the world of Ayurveda, that's a classic sign that your inner wind is out of balance. So what exactly is Vata Dosha? Well, in Ayurveda, it's one of the three main energies, and it's born from the elements of air and ether. You can think of it as the principle of movement itself. I mean, it governs everything from the blinking of your eyes and your heartbeat to the very flow of thoughts racing through your mind. It's the force behind all motion. Now, Vata has two very different sides, kind of like a coin. When it's in balance, it's this incredible source of power. It's what fuels your creativity, makes you enthusiastic about life, and gives you that amazing ability to adapt to new things. But when it gets knocked off balance, that very same energy can turn into fear, a feeling of instability, physical dryness, and even chronic pain. And believe me, this isn't some minor issue. The ancient Ayurvedic text, the Charaka Samhita, actually links a whopping 80 distinct diseases primarily to an imbalance of Vata. That's more than any other dosha. It really just goes to show you how absolutely crucial keeping this energy in check is for our overall health. So, what happens when this beautiful, creative wind turns into a destructive hurricane inside of us? Well, it doesn't just feel chaotic, it shows up in very specific and physical ways all across the body. Because Vata is basically the operating system for all our nerve impulses, the nervous system is often the first place to feel the hit. We see this as that buzzing anxiety, sudden panic attacks, or that restless, can't-sit-still feeling that leads to insomnia. It can even show up physically, with things like tremors and nerve pain, all fueled by a mind stuck in fear and overthinking. Remember, Vata's qualities are dry, light, and cold, so when that dryness starts to accumulate in the body, where does it go? Straight to our joints and tissues. This is what's behind that cracking sound in your joints, conditions like osteoarthritis, sharp shooting pains like sciatica, and just a general feeling of muscle stiffness. And let's not forget, Vata is all about movement. When the movement in your digestive system becomes erratic and unpredictable, you get things like constipation, gas, and bloating. And in your circulatory system, it can manifest as an irregular heartbeat and that absolute classic Vata symptom, ice-cold hands and feet. You know, there's a reason Vata is often called the king of the doshas. As the primary force of movement, it has the power to literally push the other two doshas, Pitta and Kapha, out of their homes and create imbalance. That's why taming Vata is so often the very first step in restoring your overall health. Okay, so we've talked about the physical, we've talked about the mental, but what if there's another layer to this whole story? An influence that is quite literally written in the stars. This is where we bridge Ayurveda with its incredible sister science, Vedic Astrology, also known as Jyotish. They both come from the same ancient understanding, that our bodies are a microcosm of the entire cosmos. So, the big question is, what if your tendencies toward a Vata imbalance are actually connected to the cosmic energies you were born under? In Vedic astrology, it turns out that certain planets carry those same qualities as Vata Dosha, airy, mobile, and sometimes a little erratic. These celestial bodies are major players in the story of your inner wind. First up is the big one, Saturn, or Shani. Saturn is considered the primary Vata planet. It rules over the slow, grinding processes of aging, the very structure of our bones, and the heavy weight of our karmic lessons. It really embodies that cold, dry, and restrictive nature of Vata. So when Saturn is in a challenging position in someone's birth chart, it can show up as those classic Vata issues, arthritis, chronic pain, and a kind of fear-based depression. The remedies are very specific. Chanting Saturn's mantra, making donations on his day, Saturday, and, this is a big one, maintaining a super strict routine to give a solid structure against Vata's natural tendency for chaos. Next up is Rahu. Now, Rahu is a fascinating character. It isn't a physical planet, it's what's known as a shadow point in the cosmos. It represents sudden, unpredictable change, illusion, and deep nervous instability. If Saturn is the cold, steady wind, Rahu is the chaotic, gusting tornado. Rahu's influence can trigger those out-of-the-blue panic attacks, irrational phobias, and that really deep, hard-to-shake anxiety. The remedies, then, are all about grounding that wild energy, chanting its mantra, practicing meditation, and performing acts of service. For instance, feeding stray animals is said to appease Rahu's disruptive energy with an act of compassion. And finally, we have Mercury, or Buddha. Think of Mercury as the nervous system's high-speed internet. It governs all communication, our intellect, and how we process information. It represents the quick, subtle, and super mobile side of Vata. So when Mercury's energy is disturbed, that internal communication network can get staticky and break down. This can lead to nervous system issues, skin dryness, and digestive problems like IBS. To pacify Mercury, you can chant its mantra, donate green things on its day, Wednesday, and practice breathing exercises, or pranayama, to directly regulate the nervous system. Okay, so how in a world do we put all of this together? This is where the real power lies, in combining these two ancient systems to create a truly holistic plan for finding balance. This integrated approach is incredibly powerful. For example, if you're dealing with anxiety, you might see it as a combination of Rahu's chaos and Saturn's fear. The solution? Combine Ayurvedic grounding rituals with the discipline of Saturn pacification. Or for arthritis, you'd use warm, oily foods to counter Saturn's dryness while also performing specific planetary remedies. It's a complete system. So this gives us a clear path forward. First, you address the physical body with Ayurvedic basics, like warm food and a solid routine. Second, you calm the mind with grounding practices. Third, you work on that deeper karmic level with astrological remedies. And finally, of course, talking to experts in both fields can give you a personalized roadmap to your own balance. And this, right here, is the ultimate goal. When you learn to harmonize your physical body with your own unique cosmic blueprint, the very energy that was causing all the disorder, that Vata movement, is transformed. It stops being chaos and it becomes a powerful engine for your own conscious evolution. So I'll just leave you with this thought. The next time you feel that inner wind stirring, that sense of restlessness or anxiety, just ask yourself, is this just the stress of my day? Or is my body trying to listen to a much bigger conversation happening in the cosmos? The answer might just change everything.
If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel Vedic Counselor. For personal astrology consultation, horoscope analysis, or Vastu consultation, you can contact us on WhatsApp 919219539215 or visit our website www.vediccounselor.com. Thank you for watching.